Okay, I just wanted to do a quick video after C2E2 of 2023, just to some of the books that I picked up and got autographed there, and just some of the experiences and kind of what I got and what it looks like. We'll just start off with Radiant Black comic that I got. It looks like I got that signed by Kyle Higgins. I think I walked right up to him, didn't really have a line. Got my book signed, went pretty quick. So he was nice to meet. That worked out pretty well. So I got him to sign this one book for me. Then I have this here for another Kyle, Kyle Starks. I think I know him more from like Rick and Morty books, but when I was by his table in line for somebody else, I noticed that he had some Tales from the Crypt or Creep Show comic books, so they look pretty cool. So I saw the Spawn one, so I thought I'd pick this one up and get him to sign it for me. So he was nice to talk to. He even drew a little something on a poster that I had, so that was pretty cool. I was glad to stop by him and get something done. But that would be Kyle Starks. Next one was Brian Azzarello. I had went Friday, and I don't think he showed up until after like 1 o'clock or so. I just happened to be walking through that aisle. I think it was in aisle P, I think, and a lot of people for like sketch or comic sketch art or something. That's the ones who handle like a bunch of different artists and helps them with charging, for autographs and books and stuff like that. But there was only like a couple people in line for him, which kind of surprised me. I thought there would be a few more people there for Brian Azzarello. I was kind of hoping they'd have more books to sign there, but I didn't see anything that really caught my eye, so I just had him sign the Moonshine book that I had and then like a poster. Next one that I had signed was from, that's from Sean Gordon Murphy. He has been one that I've had a lot of trouble getting a hold of. Even before the pandemic, I tried to catch him at C2E2, and I always had trouble. Either lines were too long. That was pretty much right when White Knight first came out. White Knight first came out. That was kind of tough to get him at that time. But I always seemed to miss him, whether it was line was too long, caught him at the wrong time, I sat too long in another line and just couldn't get back to his line. Never was able to meet him and get something signed. But this time I went in the morning to try and catch him, and I was told that they just closed off the line and he couldn't sign something for me. So that started to get that same feeling like I wasn't going to get anything signed. But I was gonna try back later on Friday, and I kind of got stuck in another line for a while, which I'll kind of talk about with some of my other comics that I picked up. And I was able to get back over to him, but I was the last person to sign, and I had to hold this little sign to tell other people to go away. So glad to get this. Thankfully, I didn't have to go away again, because I would have just said hell with it at that point. It took me too long to try and get this one. Then I have David Pepose. This was another one that I picked up. He was a nice enough guy. Talked to him for a little bit. He signed my Scouts of Honor that I had. Thanked me for buying this, and that really is what he said got him work with Marvel. The comic that I bought off of his table was Moon Knight Black, White, and Blood. It was a pretty cool looking book, so I decided to pick it up. I haven't read this, but I do kind of want to read that. So anyway, I got that one signed by him. He had just walked up and sat down at his booth, and I was like the first person to get him. So he was like, first customer of the day, here you go. He was pretty psyched for it. So anyway, that's Moon Knight. And then this one is going to be Zeb Wells, which was one where I don't think he showed up till about like 1 o'clock or so on Friday. Didn't really have to stand in line for him. I just kind of walked up. There was another line that was right by him. Like I said, there was this one, I think it was P, which was the row that just had like a bunch of good artists like right next to each other. So I realized that there wasn't a line for him, it was actually for someone else. So I was able to just walk up to him and get him to sign this in a poster for me, which was pretty cool. So I got my Amazing Spider-Man signed by him. Then the next one I got was by Arthur Adams. He signed my Fantastic Four for me. He also signed a nice poster for me as well, my Marvel poster. And his line was not bad at all. I think it was maybe about 10 people deep or so on the line. So I would have thought his would have been a little bit longer, and some people said that it was longer, but when I got there it was pretty manageable. So I got in and out there with him, which was pretty cool. Next one is going to be 8 Billion Genies. I got this signed by Ryan Brown and Charles Soule. They had those two guys right next to each other, and they were signing this book. I didn't realize how popular this book was because there was quite the line. I think it was the second to longest line that I got into. I actually had other people sign books while I was in line as I was going past other people's tables, which I'm sure they probably appreciate since they had such a big line right in front of their table. But Ryan Brown, it was good. I enjoyed the series. I wasn't able to pick up like the first one, so I was able to get like a third printing of this and get it signed by them. So I was pretty happy with that. The only thing is that the handler that they had was pretty aggressive with getting me to pay. Also, she didn't know how to count, which is going to make for it's going to piss people off is what it's going to do. Yeah, when I went up there, I just paid for, Ryan Brown to sign the book, and that's what I bought the book from them. And I pulled the poster out, which is what I paid for to have, Ryan Brown signed, but I guess Charles Soule wanted to sign it, and he signed other on my posters. I usually carry 3 posters, 1 Image, well, 1 DC, 1 Marvel, and then like a blank one. He got on and signed 3 of them, and I didn't really ask for him to do it, and he just kind of started to sign them, and then that lady got up all into my business and started to demand money from me and everything. And she also asked for too much money from me because she was saying that I got more posters or books signed than whatever, and I was like, no. I had to go through counting each one for her. So anyway, whoever that lady is that they had for Ryan Brown counting in the white pants and shirt or whatever, yeah, you can't count. So get out of my face. I hate it with those people when they do that. So anyway, I enjoyed the interaction from Charles Soule and Ryan Brown. So that was the positive that I'll try and take. And then we got Terry Moore. Probably the last time that I talked with Terry Moore was probably back in the 90s when it was the Chicago Comic-Con, not C2E2. He signed some Strangers in Paradise for me, and that was back in the day. That location, or that collection that I had was been long gone, so I figured I'd get another book signed by him, so I grabbed this book and had him to sign it. And then he signed something on a poster that I just started bringing around with me, so kind of a blank one. He was the first person to sign on it, so maybe I'll show that in another video. And anyway, Terry Moore, I walked right up to him, had a nice little talk, told him the last time I saw him was back in the Chicago Comic-Con, and he was like, well, we're both getting real old, which I agree. This one is the Kill Lock. Oh God, I can't even say this guy's name. It's Vivaldi Ramada something or other. I really enjoyed this Kill Lock series from IDW. He did the art as well as the story on it, and I got him to sign that. He also does a lot of Transformers comics as well before that, and Had a nice time talking to him. Got my book signed. He did like I got one of the character sketches from Kill Lock for me onto the poster for me that I have, and he also gave me some information where he's working on a third Kill Lock series, which was pretty cool. I'll have to keep my eyes out for that. He said he's really taking his time with it, so it's not going to come out anytime soon. So anyway, the last comic book that I had signed is going to be my Batman Detective comic that is Dan Mora. I tried to get some World's Finest for him to sign and everything, but I couldn't find it at my local comic shop. So I was able to find this one, so I thought better this than nothing. Dan Mora, I did not know that he was as popular as he was, because there was a huge line for him. I think he was the longest line that I had. I sat in his line for about an hour and a half before I got him to sign the book. I don't know what was going on with it. There was a couple guys that kind of sat up front and talked to him about, I don't know, getting artwork done or something like that. But there was some guys that just kept talking to him the whole time and just kind of held up the line. And people are kind of getting pissed off, and at least the people around me were fun to talk to. So at least that kind of made the time go a little bit faster. And but the one thing that kind of sucks is that when I got it signed by him, he decided to sign it with a black marker. So Dan Mora, thanks. You're an artist. What the hell? You're signing black on black with this. Couldn't you pull out a silver marker? And he did it before I even could say anything, and he just ripped it off with a black marker, which is kind of dumb and sort of wasted my time and money and everything. So I don't know. The line I was in the longest, I got the poorest result from. So thanks, Dan Mora. Whatever. So anyway, that's the books that I have from C2E2 this year, 2023. It was a lot of fun, and look forward to going back and seeing who they have next year at 2024. So talk to you later. Peace.